Nixon, you're recognized to explain your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment simply guts the bill.
Are there questions? Or any questions on nothing? Any questions on turning the bill to nothing? Representative Cassell, do you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do. Representative Nixon, why do you think it's important to gut this bill?
Representative Nixon for a softball.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm just really concerned that we are going to negatively impact small business owners as a place that is open for business. Florida, you know, y'all oftentimes say it's open for business and it's a free market. I am really concerned that people are going to suffer because of this, not only with their pocketbooks, but also, as Rep. Bartleman stated earlier, just with their physical selves. People are in pain. They're using these. There's nothing wrong with it. And, you know, I think we should vote up on this amazing amendment.
Are there any further questions? Any further questions? Seeing no further questions, are there amendments to the amendment?
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
Are there substitute amendments?
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
Is there debate? Representative Cassell, in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Nixon, I just want to thank you for this great amendment. I think it's pretty clear based on some of the answers that we've received from the sponsor that all we're doing in this fight is picking winners and losers. And I didn't think that's what we did here in the state of Florida. We have an industry that's successful, that sells over $10 billion. We have hundreds of people that come before us in committee to talk about the impact that this is going to have not only on their businesses, but on their health. And it's been made very clear that these products aren't bad enough to be taken actually off the market. We're just deciding who gets to sell them. And I don't really think that's what we as a legislature should be doing. So I think you should all vote up on this great amendment.
Is there any further debate? Representative Escamani, in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I have to agree with Rep. Cassell, and I say thank you to Rep. Nixon for this amendment as well. I mean, look, members, these products will likely be sold at some point in Florida, but we're just dictating who gets to sell them. And I know those actors have large influence in our state, but I don't think it's appropriate for us to draw that line when we're a free market state. We constantly talk about that, yet again, another example of corporate capture. And so I empathize with safety concerns. I think that is absolutely necessary, especially when it comes to children. But I do have concern the bill goes way too far. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Members, I'm going to remind you, make sure that your debate is on the amendment. You will have an opportunity to debate the overall bill later. So now for debate on the amendment that has no words in it. Representative Bartleman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I like the amendment because it guts the bill. This bill needs to be gutted because you are hurting your own constituents. Your constituents use these products, the cancer patients, the ones with epilepsy. We have a veterans caucus here. Do you know how many emails and veterans have come all the way up to Tallahassee to say, please don't take this away? This is so unfortunate, and the most unfortunate part of it is it's so you can help one industry over another. These are your constituents losing their jobs, closing their shops, and more importantly, honor their wishes. They're adults. They can't buy this product until they're 21. If you want to keep adding the child safety regulations, I'm all in, and I will sponsor that bill with you. Thank you very much.
Representative Rayner for debate on the Seinfeld amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I do appreciate this good amendment, Rep. Nixon, because it does gut the bill. Because I asked earlier about minority farmers and who holds a medical marijuana license, and it's actually it's about one in the state of Florida. And then also, this bill would also destroy minority farmers' ability to farm, manufacture, and sell hemp products. Their way to make money, their way to actually take care of their families. And I have spoken with some minority farmers, specifically African-American farmers, and they're concerned about how this bill will affect their ability to farm and manufacture these products as well. So I think that this is a great amendment. I think we all should vote up on this amendment to gut the bill.
Any further debate? Representative Robinson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I like this amendment. Thank you very much, Rep. Nixon, for doing this amendment, because this amendment will allow us all representatives in here, to not be hypocrites. So we say that this is a free market, and we will allow freedom when it comes to guns that we know are not safe for our kids or safe for human beings overall. But when it comes to us trying to allow an industry that is actually helping people that are sick, we don't want to do that. So I like this amendment because it kind of saves us from not being hypocritical when we do legislation. So I hope that we all would try to, be on the side of the people of Florida and vote up on this amendment.
Representative Gant, in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be brief. Thank you for this Seinfeld amendment, Rep. Nixon, because it is a direct representation of all the emails that I'm sure all of us have gotten from business owners who are concerned about this bill and how it would impact them. And we continue to say free market, but we're doing the opposite. Unless it's in regards to preempting local governments, then we're all about free market. So thank you for this bill.
Representative Henson, in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Representative, for this bill, this amendment. Almost a bill. Because in my opinion, marijuana and hemp should be fully legalized, should be fully enterprised, and should be fully industrialized. Thank you.
Is there any further debate? Any further debate? Seeing no further debate, Representative Nixon, you're recognized to close on your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All right, Rep. Henson, I appreciate that. I am not an advocate of violence, but we need to gut this bill. Please vote up on the amendment.
All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying yay. Yay! All those opposed, no. No. Show the amendment fails. Read the next amendment.
Representative Gregory offered the following amendment, barcode 953311. Remove lines 46 through 66 and insert an amendment.
Representative Gregory, you're recognized to explain your amendment.
Thank you, Speaker. Members, obviously, and you can tell in some of my answers, I'm all about law and order, right? If it were up to me, by the way, this bill would say 0 milligrams of a psychoactive chemical across the board, not just the 6 that are listed specifically in this amendment, including one that's already a controlled substance, but also the Delta 9 content milligrams at all. I think it should be 0. I don't think we should have recreational drug use, drug sales in the state of Florida or in this country. But we're not there. We're not there, at least not in the chamber, and I certainly do respect the differing positions, whether you're a libertarian and think that anybody should be able to grow and sell and use anything, or you're all the way at the other extreme like me that think that you shouldn't sell on the free market recreational drugs. But the Senate bill as it came over was at a 2 milligram cap specifically for Delta 9 and a 10 milligram cap per container. This amendment is the result of all those people that came and talked in the 4 committee stops that we had and many, many conversations with each of you to get the votes necessary. It's a compromise amendment to come up with 5 milligrams per serving and 50 milligrams per container. That's the main part of the amendment. The other part of this amendment is a question that Representative Cassell asked about flavoring. The Senate bill currently prohibits flavoring in vape products. After this amendment, flavoring will be allowed. And then it's a technical amendment correction to the hemp extract definition. That is the amendment.
Are there questions of the sponsor? Representative Cassell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Gregory, does the amendment still prohibit the non-intoxicating full-spectrum CBD product?
Representative Gregory.
Thank you, Speaker. No.
Any further questions of the sponsor? Any further questions of the sponsor? Seeing no further questions of the sponsor, are there amendments to the amendment?
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
Are there substitute amendments?
None on the desk, Mr. Speaker.
Is there debate? Representative Nixon, in debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to speak to what the amendment sponsor just stated in regards to law and order and things. I mean, why don't we start banning alcohol as well? That seems to have more of a negative impact than hemp itself, especially in terms of law and order. And so I would urge everyone to vote down on this bad amendment. Thank you.
Any further debate? Any further debate? Seeing no further debate, Representative Gregory, you're recognized to close. Having waived close, we now proceed to vote. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying yay. Yay. All those opposed, no. No. Show the amendment passes. Read the next amendment.
Representative Mooney offered the following amendment with title amendment, barcode 338011. Remove lines 46 through 168 and insert an amendment.
Representative Mooney, you're recognized to explain your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment clarifies that neither hemp products nor packages or containers for hemp products may not be attractive to children, including bearing resemblance to toys or snacks products. Limits the serving size of ingestible hemp products to 5 milligrams and 50 milligrams, as the sponsor just said. Clarifies that hemp extract products may not contain controlled substances listed in 893.03 Florida statute or synthetic cannabinoids unless those synthetic cannabinoids are expressly exempted in 893.02. It clarifies that the test for total delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinols concentration should be applied to 30 days prior to the harvest of the plant in accordance with the USDA standards. Requires the packaging for based products include the phone number for National Poison Control Helpline. Prohibits advertising and packaging of hemp products from including trademarks, branding, or other related materials, any imagery or scenery that depicts, signifies characters or symbols known to appeal primarily to persons under 21 years of age, including superheroes, comic books characters, video game characters, or mythical creatures, and requires that the hemp products be sold in a child-resistant container, and that is the amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Are there questions of the sponsor? Representative Cassell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative Mooney, thank you for your amendment. Does your amendment require that the products be sold in child restraint packages to keep children safe?
Representative Mooney.
Yes.
Representative Cassell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does your amendment remove the language where we're penalizing event holders and event organizers in places where these products could be unlawfully sold?
Representative Mooney.
Yeah, it not clearly says that, but that's the intent, yes.
Representative Cassell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As it pertains to the definition of hemp, under your amendment, does your amendment include cannabinoids that are currently legal under federal law, or does your amendment fix that definition?
Representative Mooney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, they include what's legal under federal law and approved by the DEA.
Any further questions for the sponsor? Representative Gregory, for a question.